Hi everybody, this is James in my brand new channel, coinrollhunting. Hello everybody, my name is James. This is my brand new channel, coinrollhunting. I have a bunch of pennies here. I went to one of my banks. I asked them if they had pennies and they said, yeah, we've got $20 worth. So we've got 40 penny rolls to look at, and we got kind of a variety of different rolls here. Looking at the enders, there's some 90s, I see some 80s. Looks like a couple of rolls here of mint wrapped 2001. We're probably not going to find much in there. There are a couple of American enders on here, and some other ones that we can't really tell that are wrapped by customers. We got our copper cup here. We're looking for older Canadians. We're looking for some US wheat cents, some other foreigns, anything that we can see here. And so I'm gonna get started and we'll bring you in anytime we find anything interesting. Okay, well, we've just finished our first roll. We got a fair amount of newer zinc and steel cents. We got 5 Americans here, a few copper, and a fair amount of older, some late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Canadian pennies, of course, were copper up until 1996. Anything after 1997 might be zinc, might be steel. And so I'll bring you in when we find anything interesting. This is probably what we'd expect to see in most of these rolls. There was nothing newer than 2003 in here, so we'll see what we get for the rest of them. I don't know if these were brought in by different customers or the same customer, but I'll bring you back in when we find something interesting. All right, I'm bringing you in because I found a 1985, and these aren't especially rare necessarily, but there are a couple of varieties you want to look for. One is a blunt 5 and one is the pointed 5, and you can see right here the blunt 5 basically goes straight up and down. The pointed 5 the top will point towards the stem of the maple leaf. So this is a blunt 5. This looks like it's the most common one. I'm on the lookout for a pointed 5 because I don't actually have one, so we'll keep looking and see what we can find. Okay, I'm bringing you in because I opened up my next roll of pennies, and guess what? They're nickels. The bank sold me 20 rolls of what they believe were pennies, and turns out this is nickels, so I'm not sure if any of the rest of these are actually nickels. These are the kind of rolls that actually tell you what's in them, and I didn't take a look at it. These all feel like pennies, and they all seem to say that they're pennies, but this one clearly was nickels. So, well, we'll see what's in here. All right, roll number 3. We're on our nickel penny roll, and we found a pretty decent 1963. This is, of course, the laureate portrait of Queen Elizabeth. I saw a bunch of 12-sided nickels in here. This one is round, but some of the older ones are 12-sided, and so it means we've got some older stuff in here. So I don't know if you can see in this, there's at least one in here, but I'll bring you back in if we find anything interesting. Okay, we've got ourselves here a 1980, and that means we can actually look to see if it is a double date variety. And I'm looking, and sometimes you have to turn it around and look at it in the light to see if this is the double date. It doesn't look like it. It looks like when I rotate it this way, it looks like there's some doubling at the base of the 0, but we should be able to see that on all of the numbers, and I don't know if that is just a shadow. If I turn it around, I don't really, well, it looks like there might be a little bit doubling. You can sort of see it. That's one of the things you can look for. All right, just finishing up roll 3, my nickel penny roll, and it turns out there's only one 12-sided nickel that caught my eye. In 1962, again, another laureate portrait. This one's a little bit scratched up on there, as is pretty common on many of these. Okay, I'm bringing you back in because I found a beautiful 1958 with a lot of luster, and yeah, that's a real beauty. There's the laureate portrait there. Lots of red on that one. Okay, roll 4, and we found a Lincoln penny, a US penny. It's a 1970 large date low 7. You can see the top of the 7 is below the 0, and the bottom of the 7 comes substantially lower than the 0. So it's not exceedingly rare, this 1970S large date low 7, but it's something interesting that I found, and I don't have an example of it, so there you go. I bring you back in because I just got a laureate portrait 1964, definitely in circulated condition, but it's a bit of an oldie. Roll number 10, and we've got ourselves a 1962 laureate portrait. Pretty circulated condition. Roll number 11, bringing you in because I got a 1960 laureate portrait. This group we're seeing a lot of newer, I've seen up to a 2011 in there. Some more a US in this one than normal, or than the last roll. So this looks to be a different bundle wrapped by somebody else. I can see a bunch of Americans in there, so I'll let you know if we see anything interesting. All right, I'm bringing you in roll number 15 because we've got a wheat penny here. And I'm just going to flip it over, and it looks like it is a 1950D. 1950D, first wheat of the hunt. All right, I haven't brought you in for a while. I am on roll 18, and I got a 2006 penny here, and I just want to bring your attention to this one because this is one that's really interesting. There are, this is obviously the new portrait here, but there are versions with a P, there are versions with no mint mark or composition mark, and then there are ones with the Royal Canadian Mint logo. And so they're made of steel, they're made of zinc. The one that is really rare is the 2000P zinc, so it's not magnetic, and it's rare because the P composition was supposed to be for the steel ones. So always keep your eye open on your 2006s to see if you've got a rare variety. There's also the 2003P with the old portrait that is made of zinc, so it's not magnetic. It's also rare, so that's another one to look out for. Roll 19, I bring you back in because I got a couple of 1964 laureate portrait. Right back to back in the middle of the roll. And so I'll bring you back in not to get anything else. All right, roll number 21, and this is interesting. It's kind of hard to get penny rolls these days, so this one's just been rolled up in a piece of scrap paper. All right, I'm bringing you back in because we got ourselves an oldie. This one is 1956, in pretty rough shape. It's got some interesting, like, kind of red toning to it, but it's the oldest Canadian so far. All right, I'm bringing you back in because we have the oldest of the bunch so far. This is a 1946 King George VI. I'll put it under the scope here. We get a good look at the date. 1946. And there is our King George. In pretty circulated condition, but that is the oldest so far. Same roll number 32, and we've got a really nice 1964 with lots of luster. That is a beaut right there. Look at that. All right, I've got this bank wrapped roll. I'm not really sure what to expect. I got a couple newer shiny heads in 05 and something fairly new. In other denominations, Canada's Royal Canadian Mint has an alloy recovery program, which actually takes the more valuable alloys out of circulation, so silver, copper, nickel, nickel. So I'm just not sure if they did that with copper with this. I'm not sure if I should just be expecting basically all fairly new coins, or if I might get any foreigns or older coins. Well, if I find anything, I will pull you in. Okay, well, I think we've got our answer. These look to be like all mint state copper or mint state coins, all probably steel or zinc. So I don't think we're going to find any old copper in here, that's for sure. But we'll see. It very may well be a full roll of 2005, and we'll just pull a couple out of the middle here and just see what we've got. These look to be all mint condition 2005s. And so there's 2005 right there, and There is no mint mark on that, and I expect it's going to be the same for all of them, all 2005s in mint condition. Okay, so roll 38 and 39 I'm not going to open. These are both 2001. I can see these are mint wrapped. I'm sure this may be a different year. I can't tell. I might be able to squeeze one out and see, but this one is definitely 1991. We're not going to find anything interesting in there, so I think I'll leave those to the side for now. We'll carry on. We got our last 10 right here to do, and you can see we got lots of copper behind there and Canadian stuff, and we'll carry on with the hunt. All right, roll number 46, and I'm bringing you in because what I'm finding now is a lot of really shiny, new condition, 2003 to 2010. A mix of zinc and steel. I don't know if somebody's already gone through these. It's very possible and brought them back, and I'm not finding anything unusual in here. So I'll bring you back in if I find anything else. But if the last rolls are anything like this, we're not going to find too much more. But if I see something really cool and unusual, I will let you know. All right, this is roll number 40. It's looking much like the last number of rolls. Basically, lots of shiny new zinc and steel scents from 2003 to 2012. So if I don't find anything in this roll interesting, I'll come back for a wrap-up. Okay, so here's the wrap-up in our 40 roll penny hunt. We got a 1946 King George VI, 1956 Elizabeth II, a really nice red-brown, mostly red, 1958. We got a beautiful 64 as well as a 64 Lincoln. We got a 1950D, the only wheat cent in the 40 rolls of coins. And we got 6 or 7 early 60s laureate portraits. Otherwise, you can see we got a whole stack here. We got 230 Lincoln cents. The 2 rows, or the 1 row, and the rest at the bottom are all zinc or steel. And then we got about not quite 50 copper there. And so not a bad hunt. Be sure to subscribe. I'm going to have more videos coming up. There's our 2 big buckets of Canadian copper. I've got some quarters, I've got some nickels I'm going to do, so hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.